we're here. The fantasy football playoffs. Congratulations if you made it. And next year will be a year if you did not. Because 7 leagues get to feel it a little bit both. I wanted to go through a little bit of where you're at in the fantasy world going into the playoffs. I have 2 leagues that I'm pretty in good spots in. I'm in 4th place in the Lockhead Family League, but have a top 3 high score, 5-game win streak. Saquon's on fire, carrying me. Got Nico Collins back healthy. Texans do need to step up. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But that league, I feel like I'm a contender. My work league, first place, definitely contender. I got the bye. And then the family league that you gave Ben a beatdown this week, didn't you?
I just made sure he had to stay out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
All I did was you put Josh Allen in the lineup this week.
Yeah.
50 points. You're like whoever played against him.
Absolutely.
Pew.
At Jamar Chase too, same
Dead
thing.
ass,
So
bro. Dead ass.
So in my big league, I was out. I was 2 spots away from the last playoff spot, but I was going against the 1 seed, and he had a 10-3 record. There were 2 other dudes that had a 10-3 record. So it messed up first place money, all that shit. So it was damn, I didn't even know, but Jamar Chase did that. So
he literally did that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But how do you feel?
So I had a situation last night where it was I've been the points 4 leader since week 4 in my league the whole way. This is our big punishment league where the loser has to do something fucking ridiculous that the winner picks. And I'm sitting there and I'm down 21.8 points. I got Chase. My buddy's got Scooch, got Fergie.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude, I literally texted the group. I guess, guys, I'm feeling that Jamar Chase is going to blow the doors off of Jake.
Dude, I was too, but I was just so sold on Chase Brown that I was just nobody else.
I know, yeah, no one else gets. Bro, crispy routes all night from Jamar Chase, could not be covered.
But why can't it look like that every game?
Because you're not playing against Jordan Lewis every game, I guess.
I mean, I get it. And Diggs didn't play horrible at corner, because he had a couple of snaps against T. Higgins, and obviously T. Higgins had the yips last night.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they didn't have Trayvon Diggs following Jamar Chase at all. Yeah. It was yo, let's just we'll play man coverage, and then Jordan Lewis will do his thing. Yeah, right, pal, dude. Bland and Diggs can't cover fucking Chase together.
Yeah.
What do you
Who
think
is
Jordan
Bland?
Lewis?
Nobody even knows who he is anymore.
Bro, literally washed.
Yeah.
But end up winning that big time, and that secured me first place in a bye.
Let's go.
So, if I didn't get that, the 2 guys that are the same record as me but lower points both won, and I was going to lose. So they were going to go take the first 2 bye week spots.
Yeah.
And then I end up just Jamar Chase gets me the first place bye, and I'm
wow,
dude, I'm chilling. Because the matchups I have for my team this week, it looks a little dicey.
Going for the triple crown.
Yep.
Too.
I get another league that I'm in. It's 8 teams make the playoffs, and we just go at it. My team is fully back, fully healthy this week, so I should be able to compete. But the kid I'm playing has Allen Chase. Dude, he's got a squad.
That's a good team. Yeah.
Scared. And I tried to lose this week by a lot, so that way I'd go down in points and not have to play him. I would switch who I was playing against, anyone but this kid. Didn't work out because the other 2 guys figured out what I was doing, and they lost. And they they did. They figured it out. So.
Damn. Bunch of empty lineups.
But I feel good. That team's a good squad. I got the Bowers and Jaden Daniels, so I have the 2 best players at their position other than Lamar, maybe. But I also got good running backs. Can Garrett Wilson perform? We'll see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we're going to be real excited for our Fantasy Football Award Show, which will be coming to you after the holidays. Guys, next week will be our last week doing the fantasy rankings because Christmas Eve on a Tuesday, Christmas on a Wednesday, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day the following week. So we're going to have a little 2 weeks off to just enjoy some time with some family, get right back into it, ready for playoffs. And then positional rankings are right around the corner, Twan. So I know, it's almost time. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. We'll be talking about the draft before you know it.
I know.
But we can't talk about the draft without the fantasy rankings. But I do have one more thing that I want to discuss before we get in there. So with it being week 15 upcoming, we have a lot of teams trying to figure out they're a contender, they're a pretender, who's going to win the division. Some teams are clinching. So just want to go through the AFC and NFC top 7 or 8
sure.
and just kind of give me your takeaways where you think teams are maybe trending. For the AFC, the 1 seed, KC at 12-1, Buffalo 5-2, 10-3. They still look really good, but obviously KC a couple losses away. Pittsburgh 10-3, top of that division. Houston 8-5, Baltimore 8-5, the Chargers, Denver all 8-5, and then right in the hunt still. I think the Bengals are out of it. In the hunt still, Colts and Miami at 6-7, who both have a long road ahead of them.
Bro, Miami has they're getting hot, and like this is the time you want to get hot going into the playoffs. The part that they're going to struggle with is if they make the playoffs, they're getting a road game. They just better hope it's not in Buffalo or Kansas City because like they're going to not be able to play.
Either.
Pittsburgh's it's a tough spot to play too. You're right.
Yeah. Baltimore, I wouldn't. Yeah, so there's not really good matchups.
They're going to be the 7th seed. They're going to play a 2. Like right there, they're going to have to be the 7th seed with the way the teams are seeded. Unless the Ravens have an epic fall off or something and they go to 7 and Miami somehow finds a way at 6 and 10-7. So I'm going to say I think that the most legit team, and I know they lost this past week, I think Buffalo is that team in the East right now. But they got to figure that shit out on defense because they found a way to finally beat Mahomes. Right?
I feel like that's not actually like their identity though. Like they don't let up 42 points like that. Like that had to be the first time all year.
It was, and other than like the Ravens game when they just fucking went wild on them. But that was one of those ones where like they went up early and then they just fed Derrick Henry and you couldn't stop it. They struggle against the run a lot, but dude, like Stafford and the Rams just played really fucking well. Like their offense just cruised.
We talked about it too, like coming into the week, how they were going to have Thursday Night Football this week versus San Francisco, the implications of the division. I mean, that's why it was such a huge win for the Seahawks like this past week because, as long as they win, they control their own destiny with all of that. But like the Cardinals, like their road went from extremely favorable to getting in to like, hey, you lost that one game and that's the difference of where your result of the season is.
And now they have 2 L's to the Seahawks. That's divisional losses, and the Seahawks have 2 divisional wins over them. And
absolutely,
that's going to be a tight race. I think that Arizona's probably out of it at this point. And somehow San Fran's found their way to like not completely be out yet. If they go out there and they get this win against the Rams, and the Seahawks have a catastrophe, like an absolute catastrophe to end the year, they could find their way winning that division as well. So
absolutely,
it's going to be a fun race to the finish in the NFC West. I just need to prove to everyone that I was right. So like I need the Niners to lose.
With the AFC, before we run through the NFC standings, I'm just really not confident in Houston's ability to kind of like contend with this group of teams. Like, yeah, they have like the firepower to do so, but like look at the different ways that like a team like Kansas City and Buffalo are winning games in the AFC, and those are probably your 2 separate roads that you're going to have to go through if you're any other team that's not Buffalo or Kansas City. So like,
and you have Pitt still, who's going to make a game miserable for you. You may beat Pitt, but they're going to make it tough.
Yeah, I mean they're the most beatable out of the 3, but you could say that they're better coach than Buffalo, like so and that's a huge advantage, especially when you factor in weather conditions and everything like that. But with the NFC, Detroit at 12-1, who I don't feel like is playing their best football right now, if you want me to be honest with you. And Philly's kind of on like a little bit of a skid. I don't want to say a little bit of a skid because they're 11-2. So like let me change that a little bit. But they're also not playing their best football, and 11-2 teams shouldn't be having public attackings like of each other, and it's like this happens like week 10 every single year, like
every year with Philly, dude. It's like, and that's where it's like, dude, even if they're 11-2, they go on, they make a good playoff run and don't win the Super Bowl. It's like I still think about getting rid of Sirianni because if he can't get the heads together,
I don't know if it's Sirianni, like maybe it's AJ Brown, because like you don't really hear Devonta Smith like that, and like if he's gonna be vocal, like if Brandon Graham's out here saying like, yo, like one is trying, like you saw that whole clip and like everything he had to say about it too.
I didn't see the full clip.
Well, I gotta show you this after.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham was like talking about it, and he said that AJ Brown can be a little bit better about how he vocalized like his frustrations instead of just doing that in like a post game and shit like that. And the expectation should be that like if Saquon Barkley's coming in, you're winning football games, like that's to help make everybody better. And like I get it. They were talking about it on McAfee this morning, and they stated a stat. His targets are in half of what they were, and like a number 1 wide receiver who came there to get the ball, definitely understand it. But winning football is different, bro.
Bro, and that's the thing is, like, dude, he does this bitching shit every time, and it's like, all right, don't worry, we'll feed you next week, and they do it, and then he's like, yay!
Yeah.
And then he doesn't
so
get it for 2 more weeks,
stupid.
and then he bitches. I'm like, at what point do you say you treat him like a fuck? You want to act like a child, we'll treat you like a child. You're sitting out for this game. Go. We don't need you to beat Carolina. Sit out for this game.
Yeah.
Saquon will go get 150-plus total yards.
And honestly, for their contractual standpoint, like, it might be a good idea to maybe move him and just draft a wide receiver round 1.
Dude,
like,
I agree.
Devonta Smith is a great option there, obviously, and Saquon looks like he's playing the best ball in his career. Obviously, you want to consider, like, hey, like, are we all going to be able to, like, stay healthy? But I do feel like every single week this year, their defense has improved, like, drastically. Like, weeks 1 through 3, their defense was a disaster, and we were like, how the hell would all these named guys, like, is it not able to work? But now I feel like they're the best pass defense in the entire NFL, if you want me to be honest with you.
And if you have a guy like Brandon Graham who's been there for so long, if he's the guy calling him out, it's like that means like you're fucking up. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
Pull your shit together, dude.
And I kind of feel like maybe that's what Jason Kelsey like saw towards the end of last year, and like that really just wasn't mendable, and he was like, hey, like we're not gonna win here because I mean that's a dude that loved ball.
Can we talk about that fucking weird ass commercial they had him do?
Yeah,
bro,
chunky.
What the fuck is that, dude? People are way too comfortable nowadays with doing shit like that.
Absolutely crazy.
God damn, man.
Minnesota, who I feel like wasn't playing their best a couple weeks ago, like is still in stride. 11-2, very impressive for a team that overcame obstacles, and this might have been their second option at quarterback.
Bro, and they blew we thought the Atlanta game was destined to be close. They blew the fucking doors off them in the second half.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, you can't make that shit up, honestly. But Green Bay, they're a couple wins away, so they're not going to be in like that same category, but they're playing great football, better than some of those top teams in the NFC right now. Seattle with the 8-5 record. They get Sunday Night Football this week. That's going to be an electric game. Packers all day long, though. I don't think Seattle can win those games like that. I know it's in Seattle.
They just won 2 divisional games. It's like they won really, really big ones there. I agree. I think they're going to draw. Listen, with the way Green Bay just lost to Detroit and it was that close of a game, it's like they're going to go out there. They got a point to make.
Washington's another 8-5 team. Do you feel like the Seahawks are a better team than Washington? Because I don't know if I say that.
I don't know. I think if
defensively they can be, but
if they play in the playoffs, I am going to lean Seattle. But I don't know that I can just call them an outright better team. I think that Jaden Daniels is playing better than Geno Smith.
Yeah,
I think that Brian Robinson's playing better than Kenneth Walker.
Charbonnet looked good.
Charbonnet looked fucking really good. That's really scary for fantasy.
No,
as we get down the line here,
it is.
But yeah, dude, Charbonnet looked good. I think the Seahawks are still good, but
I'm benching him this week, even if he plays.
Oh god,
Kenneth Walker.
Oh god, for who? That's the thing is like if I bench
Brian
him,
Robinson.
Yeah, if I bench him, it's going with Kid McCormick. So like,
yeah, no, definitely.
We don't do that.
Obviously not, but. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting how Charbonnet could have been, like, that productive because they just played that team 2 weeks ago, and there's no way that they were that drastic of a difference.
I know.
If you want me to be honest with you.
I feel
But Tampa Bay, couple wins away. The Rams could be on top of the division. We'll see how that all shakes out. Atlanta has a tough road. San Francisco, Arizona, kind of out.
The divisional winner parlay is looking good.
Yeah.
Good. Pittsburgh's was like plus 360 when I took them in there. Tampa was still plus money. And then obviously I had Chiefs, Texans, which the Texans need to fucking win that division for me, but I think they'll.
It's a sweat.
I don't know if they'll beat Miami this week. I think that's a close one to watch out for, but I think they'll still end up winning the division somehow.
Yeah, I'm Rookie of the Year and MVP. Well, I'm waiting for those. And I know that there's a lot of talk about Bo Nix, but I just feel like the moments that Jaden Daniels has already, like I don't really feel like it's a question.
I agree. I think it's Jaden Daniels.
The fantasy football rankings. I will not be doing any Rams or 49ers, obviously. No Thursdays. Got to keep it consistent here.
No bye weeks, though.
No bye weeks.
Big list.
List.
This is a harder one to fill, but there's some juicy names here.
Yeah, I
not
feel,
chunky like Jason Kelsey likes to make it, but
some top tier running backs are a little bit on the back end, and some brand new wide receivers to crank high positions in the list.
Whoa, all right.
Yeah, I know it's wild, but I kind of feel like right now, instead of looking at like season long, like you want, like the Browns are a different team these last 3 weeks than they were at any other point through like the first 10 weeks of the football season. So I feel like when you consider that and like some of their players, like you can't sit Judy and Njoku right now.
I know, you literally can't, and that's what sucks, bro. Because I have Njoku, Jonnu, and Brock Bowers.
So like there's
What do I do?
there's some big names like on this list or off this list that just you can't really rely on. Like Amari Cooper, nowhere near this list.
Not even close.
Yeah,
dude. It's literally not
but
even close.
I mean that's people are relying on Amari, especially in your 12 and 14 leagues. Like it's tough. But
That's
tight
tough.
ends 10. Tucker Kraft going against Seattle Sunday Night Football. Look, I've kind of counted it out a little bit in the past couple weeks, thinking it was going to fade. It really hasn't. He either gets the odds or he gets a touchdown to have an 8-point performance. But he gets, if you're in PPR leagues, he gets that 13, 15. If you're in half point or just standard, he gets that 8. Consistent production. So I take it all day. 9, I got Laporta. I feel like they're going to need to use him versus Buffalo. 8, Andrews going against the Giants. Play all your fucking Ravens. I can't believe it's a 15-point spread because that honestly should be 28 points. The Giants aren't going to score.
I really do think that because Drew Lock, the one way you beat the Ravens is you throw the football. Oh, you have a great receiver. Too bad Drew Lock.
There's not a chance at all. The Giants are the only team that have beaten Lamar from the NFC now besides the Eagles. I know Daniel Jones ain't there, but they're going to beat us by 45 points. It's Anthony's birthday, and I'm going to make him say he's sorry to me.
That has you are, legit, dude. You have to.
No, but I got Andrews here at 8. 7, I got Fergie going against Carolina. Definitely thought he was going to have a bigger game on Thursday, but for as much as Shoemaker was getting the ball, like he's going to get more targets. But CD did look really good, even though he was banged up, and Dowdle was successful. I know you'll touch on that in a little bit. On 6, I got Hawkinson. It was a quiet first half for him, but it goes to show you that all it takes is one drive to really get him in. I know he hasn't scored the touchdown like that, but the receptions and the yardage is enough in a potent offense. Like, I know Aaron Jones kind of creeps in the end zone every here and there, but this team throws passing touchdowns. And, yeah, it's not always a tight end, but Addison, JJ, like Naylor, those guys are catching them. Munt.
Bro,
yeah.
Anyone's catching them from
Akers,
Sam Darnold right now, bro. Like,
yeah.
they're out here cooking, bro.
All these teams that had quarterback problems passed on him. And
that's what I'm saying. And you're looking, you're like, oh, my God. Like,
yeah.
Here we go. And then we're seeing it with all these quarterbacks. Like, Bryce Young's now playing good football. And, like, I'm happy to see it. I'm very happy to see that things have kind of turned around. Number 10, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry. Just think if the Pats going to have any success against the Cardinals this week, they got to get Hunter Henry the ball and get him early and often. It'll be a close game, I think. But sadly, I think the Cardinals are going to pull through. Or we ruin our draft spot, which honestly I'm fine with. I want Drake May to learn how to win rather than fuck it. That's what people don't get. Everyone's like, dude, perfect scenario. Drake May looked good, and then we kept our draft spot. I'm like, no, dude. I don't want Drake May to get used to losing.
Yeah.
I want him to know how to win.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see. Go down, get a game.
If they lose these games trying to win and competitively, like they've lost a lot of close games this year.
A lot of close games, and it's
if this was the Patriots team I knew, like I know they haven't won a lot, but I definitely would have took over 3 wins.
100%, 100%. Here we go. Yeah, here we go, and they still haven't hit it.
but I don't think Gerard's safe.
I don't think he's safe either. I'm ready for him to go. Like honestly, it is what it is. I want Bill back. I can't believe I'm saying it. I want Bill back.
He's going to UNC.
No, he's not. He won't go to UNC.
Bro.
Did you see them fucking talking about how he would be?
Yeah.
College coach.
They were like, it's probably 200 font, 3 words on each page.
Bro, you see it was Edelman and Gronk. They look at Brady to see if it's okay to say no, and Brady's like, no. He's not going to make it. 9, I got Pitts. I think that Atlanta's going to have a get-right game this week.
Pitts has burned me 2 weeks in a row. He's had less than 2, and like you're coming down in the fantasy playoffs, I can't do that.
You're not going to trust him?
No, not at all.
I think Falcons need a big bounce back week
this
week. So
they absolutely do, but I can't rely on a bounce back right now. So I liked all the guys that I had shared.
I understand. 8, I got Otten. Might be a little low for where we've had him, but I just think that the way that they've used the running backs, whether it be Bucky Irving, who's not
no on,
no Otten,
no on.
Disrespectful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's that guy.
Dude. Mike has been balling.
I know Mike has been balling, but at some point it's going to be like Otten's going to get not at some point. He's been getting involved all year. It's
this week was I feel like the past 2 weeks were a little bit quiet. And like, look, I know you're gonna try and get him the ball, but like we were saying here, like McMillan was scoring touchdowns. Like
I know.
The
I
running
think
backs.
McMillan's a good player, bro.
No, he is, but I feel like a team like the Raiders is a team you beat like as a tight end. Like that's a favorable matchup, and I just don't feel like this week that it's better versus the Chargers.
Yeah, but you can beat the Raiders kind of any way you want. So
Yeah.
that's how you get it.
You can.
7, I got Laporta, so not too dissimilar to where you are. They're going to need him involved if they want to try and get the win this week, which I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
6.
That game is gonna be crazy.
I might.
Yeah.
Bills are an underdog. I think I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah.
6, I got Njoku. So again, I really want to put him in the top 5 here, but like tight ends have been good at this back half end of the season, so it gets real hard. I'm going to put Njoku here.
At 5. 5 is where I got Jonnu. Jonnu actually had a little bit more of like a quieter week this past, but overtime like was a crucial role to like get in that W.
Bro, and then he does catches the ball, gets the touchdown, he just goes
Yo, legit.
Straight up walks around like I'm that dude.
Legit.
I'm like, yeah, he's that dude.
No, he really is, and he's been consistent for them. Like, we've been talking about, like, him other than, a Waddle and, like, a Hill and things like that, and those guys actually played, like, pretty well, and that was a lot more points than I thought was going to be scored in that divisional game.
Jonnu's about to take a flex spot from fucking Jaden Reed right now.
Hey, he might. He might. 4, I got Njoku going against Kansas City. Take his receptions, like I'd feel really good about that. Once we win some money from Cat on Wednesday, like that's what it's gonna go to.
There you go.
We're gonna just start tossing singles all around.
Mm-hmm.
Like
we're at the Squire.
Yeah, not singles, but 3, I got McBride going against New England.
Okay.
Bro, I mean, you saw what was going down. I got the over from you literally just in the second half. I took it for 70. He finished it with 70 on the dot. So that was a sweat, but that was
ours was what, 58?
Yeah, 58 and a half. So yeah, bro, he's gonna cover that in the home games. Like in it just, I wish it wasn't just all in 2 quarters.
I know.
Doesn't make any
sense.
sense.
There, I'm like, I'm safe, guys.
Doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
2, I got Kelsey in that same game versus Cleveland. I just don't really feel like there's a defensive back or linebacker that's going to be able to, like, stick with him. And for a team that I feel like is going to have to score with the way Jameis has played, they're going to have to get him the ball and control a lot of the time of possession. Dude, the whole fourth quarter in the Chargers game was literally like 3 possessions, which was like so stupid because I feel like they both tried to play the same game. But I'm like, Chargers, like, why are you doing this right now? And I also thought, like, instead of like using your timeouts there, like get them down to a scenario where they can't anymore and then maybe go from there. But it was just kind of early. You knew the game was over with 2 minutes left, you know?
I know. That's the thing with playing KC, too, is like they'll just – if they make you kind of play different to tailor to how to beat them specifically, and it just like kind of gets in people's heads, which Chargers did a good job of like keeping it close, but comes down the stretch, Mahomes is going to be the last guy with the ball. It's like gets tough.
You basically have to plan that like he's going to be the guy with the ball last regardless. So like starting in the third quarter, you got to like make those changes and like make decisions based on that. I think that's the way to beat the Chiefs.
Want to know? So I think that a team in the playoffs will find a way to beat them, though. I really do. I think they've showed that there are ways to beat them.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, they're not dominant this year, and I think that they're a great defensive team still. I really do, but I don't feel like their defense has won them a lot of games this year, with the exception of like the special teams ones, like obviously. But back to the list, I have Kelsey at 2 and 1. Bowers going against Atlanta. I think the Raiders are going to keep that one close. Especially with the way Kirk Cousins is playing. Bowers is going to go off.
You think it's going to be close? Oh, I think Bowers goes off. I think Kirk's going to sling. I think they're going to sling.
I mean, he should have last week. He should have 2 weeks ago.
I know,
so
he should be. That's why at some point it's got to happen. See, this is how we make money. We sit here and we wait, and we're overdue.
I know, but the reason why I'm saying this though is because this is how I feel about like the Falcons though, and I've been on the Bucs like the entire year and been saying like even when Atlanta was like in a sound spot at 6-4, would they drop 4 straight?
Yeah, they're not looking great. Are they sub 500 now?
Yeah, bro. Atlanta's 6-7.
6-7. So yeah, they just went to sub 5. Oh my god.
Yeah, bro.
How the mighty have fallen.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll get through this one for you. Jonnu Smith, 5, very similar. I can't believe it took until overtime to really be able to get him the ball, but once he got it, like, they were like, oh, shit, he's getting open every time. All right, give it to him. And he'll make the contested catch. 4, I got Kelsey. 3, I got Kittle. 2, I got McBride. Sad, I think he goes off. And 1, of course, I got Brock Bowers. 20-point week from Brock Bowers.
Yeah. He didn't have, like, a huge week. He ended up coming on in the second half a little bit, but you want to see him get a little bit more involved. And, I mean, it's tough. Like, Aiden O'Connell got hurt, and I don't even know who the quarterback was that went in.
Ritter.
Was it? Oh, my God, Desmond Ritter.
It was literally
Oh,
Ritter.
he's going to light up Atlanta, bro.
You think? No fucking shot, dude.
Yeah.
No shot.
I wish the Raiders had a better running back. I really do. Like, I can't believe that they were legit relying on Zamir White and yeah.
So was I.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Dude, they should go get like a guy like Algier. Like, he'd be a star.
He would be a star. I think Algier wants to be a fucking Falcon. If the Falcons don't end up winning, maybe it'll be different. But I think he wants to. I think he likes his workload.
He's a good compliment to Bijan.
Really good.
At 12, I got Sam Donald. It's crazy to have him at 12 with the way he's playing, but it's division game Monday night and versus Chicago.
Sure.
Not really a recipe that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for that matchup. I can't wait for that game. It should be a blowout, but every single time you think a division game is, it's usually a spread-ish game.
Deadass.
At 11, I got Geno going against Green Bay. Look, it's really impressive that Geno's leading like the NFL and like passing yards and stuff like that. But where the hell is it going to? Because DK's not catching the ball.
He's literally not. So JSN's played really, really good.
No, JSN is. Lockett doesn't really have that role. Like, I know they throw to the tight end a little bit more than like we would assume, and like the running back catches the ball in that offense. But I would love for them to be a little bit more like efficient on both sides of the ball because I think they have the talent to be too. At 10, I got Baker. I think that'll be a close game. I don't know if they pull that one out though. I think it's gonna be
the Chargers game.
Yeah,
that's the game that you look at all the props that has points written all fucking over it.
But all these Chargers game have, and like they just really haven't. Like,
but the Bucs are dead. Like the Bucs are a team that they'll just get in a shootout with you just to fuck around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're putting up 30 points regardless.
I
so
know.
it's just like, what's the other team gonna do?
And I think. You'll see when we get to the quarterback. Never mind.
At 9, I got Tua playing inside. I feel confident about it. Miami has everything to play for. And Houston, I feel like kind of is a little bit constricted. They're like just trying to breathe. Like Mixon's running the ball like great, but I just kind of feel like he's not satisfied. Like you don't really hear anything from Nico, but they're not dominant. And I feel like they haven't had like a game where you're like, oh, that's the Houston team we were expecting this year.
Truly underperforming all year. Like that's really how it's been.
Or was it just like overhyped from last year? Because like that's a little bit more of like what I would be in my chest about like with Houston. And you know they were a good team, but I mean you can make an impression real quick year one, and we've seen that. Like look at fucking Blake Bortles took Jaguars to an AFC championship, and you never heard of him again, bro.
Never, dude. Literally never heard of him again. Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
buddy.
and dude, they had a squad. Like that Pittsburgh game was crazy. The Pats game was crazy. Like that playoff series, they beat you guys, right? That was
in the playoffs.
Yeah. No. Well,
Amendola got that toe tap in the back of the end zone, brother. Come on now.
No, so that was the AFC championship.
It was the AFC championship.
Okay. I don't know. I was. Oh, so they beat Pittsburgh the week prior. That's what I was thinking.
They beat Pittsburgh. We beat Tennessee when Mariota threw a touchdown off of like a player, caught it himself. And got a touchdown.
I had the
people
the
forget, man.
Switched.
Marcus Mariota did it first. Josh Allen was the first guy to catch a touchdown.
It was just like different levels of like crazy. But,
yeah.
But we can debate that for another time. 8, I got Murray going against New England. I think he'll play a better game. In 7, I have Jaden Daniels going against New Orleans. I think a 7-point spread's a little bit generous. They should beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Low for Jaden Daniels, huh?
I mean, kind of. But when I say like my top 5, like.
They are big. They're big numbers. Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, I'll just run through them like really quickly.
Good.
5 I have Hurts. Like I know they're struggling, but this is a huge game. Probably a bunch of tush pushes. He's running the ball pretty efficiently. Where am I?
4.
4. Love at Seattle.
You might have skipped 6, by the way.
Oh yeah, I did. Here we go. 6. I got Russ going against Philly. So in that same game. I just feel like there's going to be points scored. I think it's going to be really close.
I totally feel the opposite.
Yeah, I know, like which is insane. But I mean, Saquon's going to bust a couple, and I feel like even if Pittsburgh has to play from behind, they've shown that they can do that. And that was my whole thing with Pittsburgh early in the year. It's a completely different team, and we haven't been hearing a lot of yapping from Will. So
yeah, I know. Will's happy.
We've been picking this.
Will's all happy, dude.
Yeah. And then 5, Jalen Hurts. Just talked about that. Like I said, great game. 4, Love. I think there's going to be points scored in Seattle. Love will probably throw a pick, but usually when he does, he plays twice as better when he comes back from it.
Okay.
3, I got Burrow. 2, I got Lamar. And 1, I have Josh. I mean, I don't feel like Jaden Daniels should really be above any of those guys, if you want me to be honest.
I feel you.
You do?
I do. I do. I think listen, they're coming off a bye week. I think they're going to come out hot.
Yeah.
I feel really good about some of these teams coming off a bye this week. 12, I got Tua. I mean, dude, I haven't had him in the rankings ever, and every time he's a lock for 280, at least a touchdown.
I've been sitting him and playing Jordan Love, and he outscores him every single week.
I know.
And I just feel like when I put Tua in, he's gonna fucking suck, and Jordan Love's gonna give me 35.
Yep, you already fucking know. And that could be this week. 11, I got Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's gonna have a competitive game with Buffalo. I think that game has points all over it. I'm gonna say right now, I think Buffalo's gonna win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10, I got Darnold. Listen, I almost left him out of the list, but with the way the guy's been playing, I can't leave him out. I do think it's a tricky road for them against Chicago. Could be an upset alert to watch out for, but not confident on that just yet. I want to see how things continue to progress throughout the week. 9, I got Pat Mahomes. I think this is the point in the year where the Chiefs are going to start to try and get in gear and start playing a little bit better. So I am going to put him in here. I expect him to have a pretty good week this week. 8, I got Brock Purdy. I think this Thursday night game is going to be an absolute fucking rocket ship.
Yeah.
Sick game decided
Rams
by...
defense been playing good. I feel like the 49ers are going to win.
You think the Niners... I'm kind of leaning Niners too, but I'm so biased because of my bet right now. So I can't give that unbiased prediction.
I think the Rams... I don't want to say that they're a lock, but I just kind of feel like after you beat Buffalo, a short week, everyone's going to be like, oh my God.
They're them.
But San Fran just won by what, 3 touchdowns?
Dude, they made Chicago look worse than Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to say I feel great about it, but I feel pretty good about San Francisco winning this game.
All right. I like it. Purdy's going to have a day if it happens, though.
Yeah,
he's going to have
225 regardless.
Love it. 7, I got Hurts. So I got him a little bit lower here. Again, this is just how we feel about the games. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more of a gritty, grinding out. Hurts is going to have 50 rushing yards, so you can tack 5 points onto that immediately. 6, I got Baker. I think Baker's going to have a good game. I do think this Chargers-Bucks game is finally going to be the shootout that we've been waiting for. 5, I got Burrow. Listen, I think they're going to play really well. I just don't know that through the air is going to be the only way to beat Tennessee.
Dude, he lights it up.
He does light it up.
300 yards and 3 touchdowns a game.
I don't think they're going to have to throw the ball as much this game.
I feel like they tried to do that last night, though, and that's why they were in a 20-20 game with a minute left. They should have lost that game.
I know, that would have sucked.
I can't even believe I'm saying that, but they dead ass should have. There's no reason why that their offense was that good and only put up 20 points. If you want me to be honest with you, with the night that Chase and Burrow had and what Chase Brown was doing out of the backfield, that was
they
Cowboys.
Didn't execute. They had the bad. They also had
Burrow's interception sucked.
Dude, his interception was so bad. But then he goes out there and then he just fucking finds a way to find Jamar Chase and they make the play happen. He is seriously one of the most talented guys. But points wise, I got him at 5 this week, where generally I'd have him at the 1 or 2 because of how he's been playing.
I think Tennessee's gonna put up points with them.
Oh, I don't think so.
Bro, I think it's gonna be, dude. I think it's gonna be a sneaky close game. I really do. I really do.
Dude, Tennessee looked so fucking bad against
I
Jacksonville,
know,
dude.
But dude, couldn't you see Will Levis throwing a fucking Ridley for a $140 for 10 receptions and 2 touchdowns? Yeah. Or dude, no, in Keeney, bro, he's gonna throw a fucking bomb.
Yeah,
to him.
he is gonna catch a fucking bullshit touchdown.
Dude, Taylor Britt's gonna try and
might be the pick and the the juicer to the parlay this week. 4, I'm going to go Josh. I think it's going to be a big game for him as well. 3, Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Might be a little crazy, But this Buccaneers defense, man, everyone can throw on them, bro.
It's not, no, and I know, and I wanted to have Herbert in here, but I just honestly think all these guys are going to have a better day, and if that game script doesn't go like gunsling, then he's going to have 180 yards and be lucky if there's 14 points scored.
I'm feeling a sneaky 28-pointer from Herbert this
Yeah.
week. But it's not going to be enough to beat Jaden Daniels' 30-pointer, and it's not beating Lamar's 38-pointer.
Okay.
So I got Jaden Daniels at 2, Lamar at 1. The Ravens should be all over everyone's list all week.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's not a chance in hell that the Giants would cover 20 points. Whenever stuff starts going through, if it goes through successfully, I think I'm gonna alternate take the Ravens at -20.
That honestly might be you're going to get minus like
Guys,
300 odds.
I hate to tell you this as a Giants fan. Look at what's around me,
Bro.
but it is what it is. That's a
They're gonna
lot.
get fucking killed this
Yeah.
week. It's gonna be the
They're
biggest. It might be the biggest outscore. This might be worse than 52-6 when the Lions beat the fucking Titans.
Hey, it honestly might. I'm going to live bet the Giants punt every single drive.
Oh, you might mix that in with a couple of turnovers, pal.
Nah, I don't.
You go,
They're
nah.
not, dude. They're not gonna have the time to throw the football. They're gonna get sacked like 12 times. No
Such good
doubt in
fucking
my
timing,
mind.
dude. You go, nah. There you go. Nah.
Bro,
All punts.
we're literally not gonna turn it over. Dude.
How hefty of a line you think that gets to be? You
What?
think it's like minus 300 a punt every time you're hitting it live?
Nah, I don't think so. I really don't feel like unless they're like legit at the one, it'll be maybe like -210. It's never like -300 on the live drive props.
Oh, I got a
And
feeling.
dude, you get like the whole boost pack with them too.
I know.
So that's
Yeah.
dude. I was 3 for 1 on those between the Giants and the Jags. I swear to God, those are the only two.
Yeah, those are good. Those are the good ones.
All right, quarterback,
God.
running backs.
Do we have the same at 20?
I think I have the same guys last week in my 20, so probably not for you.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Najee.
I was too busy going back.
Yeah,
But
I just let it rip.
yeah, but this guy has actually been my 20 since week 13. Let me see week 12.
Who the fuck was your 20?
My 20 since week 13 has been Hubbard.
Oh, it's been Hubbard. Stop disrespecting Chuba, bro.
Nah, I know.
Chuba's a top 10 guy, buddy. When I say
I don't know about
that's
top.
low.
Dude,
Oh, wait for
top
this week.
10.
Wait for this week, pal.
That's kind of crazy.
Wait for this week, buddy.
But no, I mean he's playing good. Like I think there's some guys that are just like a lot more talented than he is. I know he gets the workload and they've just like been grinding out games, but Hubbard here, I feel good about him. Well, we're gonna break it down right now. 19 Pacheco, he's due for a big trip. Like we know, like he did try to get fed. The second half was a little bit more slow on the ground game and things like that. 18 Aaron Jones. I demote him in the fantasy rankings every week, and then he scores a touchdown. And then whenever I take him to score a touchdown, he has the worst game of his career and is out with an ankle injury. It happens every time. I swear to God. So
Too relatable.
yeah,
That's too relatable.
but dude, that's pain. That's trauma.
That's literally trauma. You know exactly how it happens.
Yeah.
Too. Ankle injury. Oh, hurt his hammy this time.
Yeah, no, legit oblique. But no, Aaron Jones has played well over the Vikings trip. 17 Connor. I feel like these are the games where James Conner low key kind of has like big days. Like not to target New England specifically, but whenever I think it's like low scoring and gritty, I think that's what it is. The Chargers aren't going to play you in a shootout. Like their offense isn't adapted to put up 30 points just yet. Hopefully that's like what they're expecting it to grow to be. And MHJ has still looked good for his opportunities, but I just feel like the lofty expectations and first-round fantasy draft picks were really the disappointment.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because like
behavior.
this is still a really good rookie year. Like I mean, he's not the rookie of the year. Like obviously, like with that being a quarterback award, but I mean, I still kind of think he's had a more consistent season than Neighbors. Neighbors has just kind of flashed a little bit more. Same thing with like BTJ. Like all three of those guys, like really really good at that position. But 16 Cook. This 2 weeks ago was the perfect example of what he is at his best when you get like 25 points, 260-yard touchdowns. And then last week in a 40-point game puts up an absolute dud. And it's just like anybody else. And it's like, how is Ty Johnson catching those balls?
I know.
I mean,
they give
they
it to
scored.
him. They give it to him like
No,
that,
I
though, in the
know,
passing game.
which is absolutely crazy. But it's just the way it makes their offense work. And the scary thing about Buffalo is I don't feel like they've even played their best football yet. I do feel like they can win it all.
They can. They
Yeah.
absolutely do. It's got to be like this matchup they have this week could be
This
a
is
Super Bowl preview.
It's the most deep team I think in the entire NFL and healthy.
I'd
To be
argue
honest with you.
Lions hang in there with that, but it is those two to me.
I just not after the injuries, bro. They have 13 different players like that rotate as starters like on that defense that are brand new to the team this year.
Yeah, but when it comes to depth, like that's what if you have guys that are going in and starting can like in games that are important, like that to me I look at that depth and I'm like, if they're still successful, that's depth.
No, it is, but I'm saying like Jamal Adams is starting for them. Like I felt good because
sure.
he like that's just one example. Like I still don't even. So Darius Smith has played well for them. I still feel like there's a little bit of getting acclimated there. Like obviously it's hopeful knowing you can get like Hutchinson back towards like the Super Bowl if like they make it there. Like that's motivation. But
That would be huge for them, dude.
even considering like the rookies and stuff like that, I feel like the most healthy position has kind of been their linebacking core, and that's just what their defense highlight is. Like that's their best players are their linebackers.
Yep.
Jack Campbell's balling.
He's balling.
Yeah,
dude. Yep.
absolutely. 15. I got JT. Like this is just kind of what I'm saying with Hubbard. Like I do feel like JT has a better opportunity to kind of have like that more dominant game with that talent and skill set, and must-win game for them and the Broncos. Like in that for playoffs. 14, I got Stevenson. I think Stevenson's going to ball versus the Cardinals. I think they're going to feed him. Yeah, I do.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
No Stevenson on my list.
So, wow. Really? Holy shit. Shocking
Dude, I just
coming from you.
listen, man. I'm really pissed off that it fucking gets to the goal line. They're like, Gibson.
No, I get it.
Like, fuck
get
off.
I
buddy.
get it. 13, I got Charbonnet because I still think he's a guy that's going to play. I really do. I think if you won like that, and you're on top of your division, if you can play like that again this week, then why rush your star back if you're in it for a longer trip? That's just kind of my whole thought process there. 12, I got Achane. Don't think it's a big week for Achane once again. I do know he got a little bit banged up, but did end up coming back in the game, which was huge, obviously, when you're in the concussion protocol and things like that. They're going to have to rely on him. I do think Houston has been a little bit better than what we've given them credit for in stopping, like, the intermediate game or like the short game. I feel like the best way to kind of beat them is taking your shots and like right over the middle, probably middle to deep passes and things like that. But I feel like the A-chain screens and runs have kind of been like obvious, and the other motion just kind of helps like disguise it, but it's all kind of like similar tendencies. So I think Houston will be studying up on that. And in 11, I got B-Rob. Kind of feel like this is a little bit low. I wanted to have Kamara in a worse spot on the rankings, but he's still at 10. I'm not going to go above my 10. I'm going to send it over to you. But he hasn't been getting in the end zone. If he couldn't put up more than, 6-8 points versus the Giants, then I don't know what better opportunity
It started
you'd have.
good, too, and it just, like, fell apart for them. So
It's just crazy because the Giants' defense is banged up.
because there's also Saints still not well coached, even without Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
20, I go Najee. I think it's going to be a gritty game, but I think these are the kind of games where Najee is going to have to be very, very deliberate with his runs, and they're going to have to be deliberate with his usage rate in order to be successful against the Eagles. 19, I have whoever plays between Walker and Charbonnet. Might be a little bit low if it's Charbonnet, but if it's Walker, I feel like that's right where I want him.
Yeah, I know. Which is sad, bro. It
Yep.
is.
18, I got the Rashad White, Bucky Irving, whichever. If Bucky Irving's playing, it's going to be Bucky. If it's Rashad White going to take the lead, it's going to be Rashad White. So I got them at 18.
I don't have either of them in it. And it's not that, like, I don't think that they're good plays. There's a lot to factor in, a lot to consider. And, like, that's not to say that, like, if you have them, you're not playing them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all going to have, like, their weeks. Like, when Bucky does come back healthy, I know he's kind of been getting, like, a little bit higher of like, the success. But they're all getting the exact same snap share. Well, between him and White, and Tuck is obviously getting a little bit back. But just feel like it's really hard to read out. And we do still have some big names on the list here this week.
Oh, we do. And at 17, I feel the same way. I got James Cook somewhere down around here. So think he's going to get in the end zone this week. I think he has 10 carries, 65 yards. 2 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay.
Like that's how I see the stat line for him. 6, I got Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle's been playing well. You got Rico Dowdle up on that list, don't you?
I don't.
No
have
Rico.
Dowdle. Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, I got Uncle Rico here at 16.
No
so
Uncle Rico.
absolute baller, dude. I like the way he's been playing. 15. I'm sorry.
Do you have him on the list over Pacheco?
I do. I'm
No,
not.
no,
I'm not in on the Pacheco
I don't
thing
think
right
it's.
now.
I don't think it's a bad decision. I'm just like asking, like, do you think like is that me just more of like a name brand type thing, or is it like, hey, we kind of need to see like Pacheco gear up, and when he's at his best, like it's no question that he's better than Dowdle.
I gotta see it before I put him in.
Really?
Do I think he's a better running back than Dowdle? Yes, but in terms of fantasy points right now, I'm just not trusting Isaiah Pacheco the way
Dowdle's getting a heavy like volume, like absolutely, and last night looked really good. Obviously, like versus that defense, anyone's gonna look good, but.
And I think it's for Cooper Rush, a guy that's like not really able to stretch the field as much. I look at Rico Dowdle as a lot more valuable to him than I think that a Pacheco is to a Mahomes right now, because Mahomes is going to have his fallback right now is like a Kelsey and a Hopkins, whereas like the fallback for Cooper Rush should be like a CD and then like a Dowdle. I think the check down's good because he's having a tough time getting to Ferguson specifically. Schumacher gets the ball a little bit, but he's having a tough time getting it to Ferguson. 15, I got Kamara. I feel the same way till he gets in the end zone. I'm not going to put him higher than this. He's had a little bit of a dud.
I think it's like 9 weeks straight.
Dude, he's had a dud, and he started at points in the season. You're like, this is the guy,
bro. I thought he was going to be a top 3 back early on in the season, which is like crazy because if you were someone that traded for him expecting that, wow, what a disappointment. If you're somebody that traded him away, you're like, this saved my season.
Dead ass. You get buckets too because you got a compensation for him if you traded for him early. 14, I got James Conner. I think he's going to have a good week against us. Sad to say, but he'll get in the end zone. 13 might be a little low, but I saw something back-to-back weeks now from the Rams, and it's Blake Corum getting 8+ carries. So I got Kyron Williams here at 13 because I think that Corum gets mixed in a little bit more here, but I think this is a tough, gritty game, and I think that there's going to be points where the Rams are going to need to throw the football, and I think they're going to be targeting their 2 stud wide receivers a lot.
I feel it, and I want to elaborate on it like a little bit more from a reasoning on why I don't think like that's impacting a lot of like my decision. I don't have Kyron in the rankings obviously because it's a Thursday. But there's been no other Rams running back that's even gotten like a goal line carry. Like that dude gets all like the rushing touchdowns for that team, every single one, probably for the at least past 16 weeks going back into last season as well. And like I just feel like the way that their offense is ran, like they get first downs. Like this isn't like they have like a couple of chunk plays, like when they're putting up like 30+ points. But when this team is like going up and down the field, like they're getting like first down, like 4 or 5 like on a drive. And I think like when you're doing that and like you're balanced, it's just kind of like a healthy break. Like same thing with Chase Brown. Like last night, like he has like a crazy workload for like that Bengals team, and I know that they're not like a ground and pound type of team, but if you don't mix in Herbert for like a couple of runs, like you don't want that dude to get hurt either. So I think Corum is just like a really talented backup. I kind of feel like this was McVay's plan like the entire time. Like not more of like an insurance policy, but kind of at the same time because have trust and faith if something was to happen in like a playoff scenario that you can use him.
And that's what kind of what they had like Darrell Henderson for their whole seasons. Like it was like, is Gurley going to work out? We'll just plug Henderson in at times. I forget who the other guy they had after that was because there was that point in time where it was like they're not running the ball. They're just going to sling it with Stafford.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
But so that was 13. I got Kyron. 12 and 11, lower than where I've had them all year. Sonic and Knuckles, brother.
Yeah.
Sonic and listen, I think that every team in the world knows what Detroit wants to do. They're going to want to run the ball on you first and then open up the pass game. I think that Buffalo knows that their weakness is teams running the ball against them. I think that Gibbs and Monty both have good days. I don't think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be all the focus that Buffalo has this week.
I feel like a fair spot for like them is like anywhere between like that 7 and 13 range, like when it comes to the rankings, because you just have to consider that it's like split. It's just really impressive that they can both like put up like those numbers consistently to, you know, both have successful days either on the same team or on separate teams. Because even like Eckler and B-Rob this year had a little bit of success as like a committee, but you really don't see like 2 guys that can really fulfill those fantasy points.
Produce. They genuinely produce.
Absolutely. And even if there was a committee in Baltimore or Philly, I don't feel like it would be like balanced or nearly as much because those guys' talents would just like blow each other away. You know, I just kind of feel like Sonic and Knuckles are more of a compliment, and I have them here at 9 and 8.
Sure.
Because I talked about Mike Kamara already. But I have Monty above just because he legit gets the first goal line carry every time, and I just think that that's more of like a guarantee than how else they score. But I do feel like Amon-Ra has a huge week this week. So
I agree.
Something to keep in mind there. 7, I have Jacobs. He scored 2+ in 2 straight weeks. I don't know if this is just something that the Packers are looking to do at this point in time in the season, or if, he was just hard and things are going to level out a little bit. But this is a team that likes to run the football, and they found successful ways to do so. 7 might be a little disrespectful if you wanted to question that.
I got him at 9. So,
okay.
But I just think they know what the game plan is for the Packers. They really want to leverage Jacobs to get downfield.
But the thing is if you stack the box and you get Reed 1-on-1, then you're playing the way they want to.
I know.
So that's just why Green Bay is such a good team.
That's why they're a problem when they get to the playoffs.
Watson's playing a lot better too.
He is playing much better. Good to see.
This might be a little bit different and crazy, but I got Pollard right above Jacobs.
I got him at 10.
Yeah, Pollard gets 60 rushing yards. If he should have had an end zone carry, which would have hit another one. So
started.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't need to go there. That one hit a lot of soft spots for us this week. But 5 Bijan, 4 Chase Brown. Bro, we gotta put some respect on Chase Brown. Dude gets the ball a shit ton. 3 Saquon, 2 Mixon, 1 Henry, 3-2-1 can go any way you want. All 3 of those guys are gonna have 20+ this week.
Easy. Steve, 10, I got Pollard. I feel very, very similar to you. 9, I had Jacobs, like we said. 8, I got Achane. I think he's the best player on that offense right now.
Yeah.
And I think Tua
Most
will find a way to
consistent
get him
for
the
sure.
ball. I think that if the Miami Dolphins are going to get to win this game against Houston, they're going to try and beat Achane. But I agree with you. They got to be able to get the ball downfield, which I feel like Tua is going to be able to do this week. 7, I got Chase Brown, so I feel similar to you that he's a top 10 guy right now. 6, I got Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson is a big week running all over the place.
Yeah.
2 touchdown Brian Robinson week. I'm feeling it.
Absolutely.
5, Saquon. Crazy, right? Got him all the way down to 5. I think Pitt and Eagles are gonna. The Eagles and the Steelers are gonna have the grimy game.
But I don't feel like these teams are gonna be able to run the ball because they both know that that's what they want to do. So that's why I think points are gonna be scored, because I just think it's gonna be deep ball. Like
I don't.
I know. I'm explaining to you.
I just find it so hard to do against those two teams with the way that the secondaries have been playing too, and with the way that the pass rush has been.
You know who's going to be really successful in the pass game for it's going to be the tight ends, and I think Freiermuth in Washington are going to have really productive days.
Dude, Washington touchdown might be a good take this week.
Yeah.
They might have a grimy, ugly way.
Dude,
to
he's a big dude.
Big dude. He's a Mike Tomlin dude.
Yeah.
He is perfect for Mike Tomlin, bro.
I did think they were going to use him a little bit more than they have.
Me too, but I really
Freiermuth
think
is just really good.
I think they're fucking secret weaponing him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do some
blow up.
He's gonna have a couple of games in the playoffs where you're like, oh my god, they did it.
Yeah.
But 4, love the matchup this week. Chuba Hubbard.
Wow.
Chuba's gonna ball.
Yeah.
23 from Chuba this week. Lock it in. Jonathan Brooks got hurt
no,
again.
I know, and I actually thought maybe Jonathan Brooks could have some potential fantasy days. That's a bad beat because.
Bad beat.
I just talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we were like, is it even worth it for him to come back? And I said no for this exact reason.
And this is exactly what happened.
And now that's a damaged second-round pick.
I know. And the thing with the Panthers is I feel like they're like, dude, we've been playing so much better this week. Like, let's just get the camaraderie going now so we have something to build on next year. So I think that's where their heads were at with trying to get Jonathan Brooks comfortable. But then you had your counter-argument as to why, and that's literally what occurred. So 3-2-1, Mixon, Henry,
ball.
Bijan, the deal. Yeah, literally the magic ball. But Mixon, Henry, Bijan, those are the 3 guys right now.
Yeah. 20, wide receivers. Ridley could be a little bit low.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I think it's a great matchup for him. 19, you got Garrett Wilson, who has been a little bit quiet, but
that one's a little low.
Yeah. No.
Jets win by a margin this week.
Oh, it's going to be a close game.
Oh.
The Jets only play close games.
I know they do, but that's why. That is why. If anyone that's watches this week after week, I'm a big, it's happened too many times, it can't happen again guy.
Twan. You telling me that the Jets are going to blow somebody out makes me feel so confident that the other team is going to destroy them.
Go fuck yourself, buddy.
Every single time that you say that, dude, they suck.
Dude. No, and guess what? Regression against the mean at some point, it's not going to happen.
Are we doing it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
25 parlay.
25 parlay.
All right.
What's it, the spread?
What's the spread?
3.5?
No, take the game.
I'll take the game.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Take the game.
Done.
All right.
The
It's
Jets are
in.
favorite. I was giving you a fucking
It's all good.
done deal. Let's
Yeah.
go. 25. Let me just think about what to put that on real quick.
At 18, Tyreek Hill, I do feel like Tyreek has played a little bit better the past couple weeks, but still doesn't look like as like splashy as like you would kind of want it to.
You think he's playing with a little injury?
I mean, we the wrist injury, like we know we talked about that. Probably being a parent is on his mind often this year.
Parent of 106.
Yeah, legit. 17, Zay. I think we haven't talked about Zay Flowers for a little bit, so I think it's about time he gets himself back into the rankings. 16, I think it's time to ride Shakir right into the playoffs. Big weeks for Shakir. In game scripts where I think like the Buffalo Bills are going to score 30 points and more, fire him up all day long. And it's crazy. Mac Hollins legit has a big catch for this team every single week. No other team could find a spot for him as a wide receiver 5. This team plays him more than Amari Cooper and like puts him in scenarios to succeed. It's absolutely crazy, and they all love it.
Put your fucking shoes on, buddy. It's so annoying.
I just always look, and his feet are always nasty.
Bro, like, why is that like the head story? Oh, here, we're going into Buffalo. And, Mac Hollins doesn't have his shoes on.
I know.
Buddy, show me something else. Show me Shakir doing something, please. I don't care about Mac Hollins' feet, buddy.
15, I got Devonta Smith. I do have both the Eagles wide receivers in here. I just kind of feel like with the statements being made, they might be intentional on the passing game. They haven't really passed it more than 20 times a game, so something to keep in mind. But he did enough in fantasy matchups last week to get 13 points. I know it wasn't as many yards as we would have liked. Trust me, I know. But next on the list is Judy. Haven't had Judy on the list. Haven't had him this high. Just think like he's continuously balled. It wasn't to the volume that you would have wanted last week, but still big enough plays that it's just like, hey, this guy can't be out of my lineup. And they're going to score points this week too. Right above him, Jacoby Myers. He's another guy that's kind of been quiet, but he's been balling. The past couple weeks, you've heard me talk about his name a little bit more on these rankings. It's a team that's always going to be playing in the pass and have to throw, and he just happens to be their wide receiver 1 all of a sudden. And since I said all of a sudden here at 12, quoting something here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
Just worked itself out that way, I guess. But he should continue his success. Huge game for the Broncos over the Colts, and their secondary is definitely beatable. At 11, I do have AJ just outside of the top 10. It's more of a volume reason. Like I'm not so like mad at like the comments or like really weighing them like that, but it is something that you don't want to hear as a team on the pursuit of a Super Bowl.
I totally agree. 20, I got Jacoby Myers. I just think they're finding ways to get him and Bowers both the ball. So I like the volume share that he gets. I'm going to put Myers here at 20, and I think he can just get 5 catches for like 60 yards this week. 19, I got Shakir. He's a top 20 guy all the way in. This might be a little bit low, but really like some of the names this week. 18, and I'm telling you, you're going to tell me it's low, but might be tricky week for Seattle this week. I got JSN at 18.
He's just been so consistent with like 5 catches, like 80-plus yards, and it's just kind of tough to demote that. Yeah, like, and this is a huge week where, like, I feel like he's going to score.
At 17, I got Judy. I feel pretty well keeping him in this lineup as well. I think he's going to have a productive week. Could be tough sledding against Kansas City, though. I know it's winnable, right? Any team can beat Kansas City. It's any given Sunday. I get it. Jameis is going to sling the rock. Bro, I just think receivers have a tough time against this team.
If this is a game that's slow for the first half, and like the Browns intentionally kind of like try and keep it like that, and then just allow Jameis to like, go play backyard football, the Chiefs might not be able to keep up.
Isn't that crazy to say the Chiefs offense might not be able to keep up with Jameis?
Bro, I'm serious. Like, especially with like Hardman a little bit like banged up now, like they really don't throw a deep ball anymore like the Chiefs.
They can't.
Yeah.
Like, who are you gonna get it to? Diop's a little too old for that.
I mean, like, he's your go up and get it guy, but I just kind of feel like
he's not burning you down the sideline.
With the protection that, like, they try and run and stuff like that, I don't know. I think they just try and succeed more on screen passes than those type of plays.
I know. They'll bring it out in the playoffs, and we'll go, there it is.
Yeah,
fucking
I know.
Motherfuckers.
Legit.
16, I got Scary Terry. I think Scary Terry's going to be a guy that's perennially in this list.
A little low.
That's all right.
That's 10 spots too low.
Listen, 10 spots too low. My goodness. 15, I got Ladd McConkey. I think that this game will have points, and I just think that the number one receiver of any team playing the Buccaneers is going to be successful. That's
No
just how we've
McConkey.
seen. Snub.
Nah, I'm not positive on his health.
Oh.
Playoffs.
Snub.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's all good. It's all good. I saw I got the Magic 8 Ball this time.
Quentin Johnston.
You can put him in there. 14. Now, I know how I said there's going to be points in this game, but I think from the Buccaneers end, it goes everywhere. I got Mike Evans at 14.
Wow.
So a little bit lower than where I traditionally have him. I usually have him right around that top 10 guy. Look at you're just giving all the goods away.
Yeah.
How's it 8 spots away from 14 and then Terry's 10 spots away from 16? That's the same number.
What?
That's the same number.
Die.
You'll
see.
Whoa.
You'll see.
8, 1, and B?
No.
Yo.
Let's go, buddy.
All right. 13, I got Tyreek Hill. Listen, he's pumping out kids, but he's finally going to have more touchdowns this week than he will have kids this year. 12, we got Zay Flowers. Think he's going to get back involved. 11, Drake London, before I kick it back to you.
Too low.
Wow.
5 spots too low.
Wow. Everyone's in the 5 to 6 spot right now. You skip fucking 10.
At 10, I got JSN.
Okay.
I feel really good about him. And I just think like this style of offense and how Gino has kind of been passing the ball caters to like his skill set. And it's crazy that this was a team that last year hardly used this dude, and now he's just thriving. It's like, well, that's why he was a first-round pick.
He's literally receiver 1 for them now.
Absolutely. Right above him, I feel like has kind of been better of recent weeks. CeeDee Lamb, even with the injury going on, he cleared 60 receiving yards in literally the first quarter and like some of like the first or second drive for the Cowboys. So love that out of him, and he got a big touchdown last night. So 8, Mike Evans. This is where Mike should be. Fuck
him.
Yeah. I think like they are gonna kind of be a little bit of aware that he's gonna be close to the 1,000. I don't think it's evident and prominent that it happens, but I'm sure Baker wouldn't want to be the quarterback that like 1,000's not on there for. So just something to keep in mind, because one of these like last couple weeks he's gonna go for 200.
He's dead ass gonna have one of those games.
He is.
He is.
So even if you take it just for the next 3 weeks, like it's bound to happen. Promise you. At 7, McLaurin. This is where Terry should be in a game like this. The Saints trade away their top corner to Washington. There's absolutely no chance that anyone's going to be able to stay with Terry. They might throw a play action pass the first play of the game to Terry, and he's just going to go.
Just go right off the bat.
Literally. 6, I got Higgins. I mean, with that offense and volume, with the amount of times that they pass the ball in the game script, where I think it's going to be like a 30-20 type of ball game, I think T. Higgins is going to ball, and usually Jamar Chase will take 1 week off and then have another 2 touchdown weeks. So in between, that's when T. Higgins can do it.
Thank God we got a bye week, huh?
Yeah. At 5, this is where Drake London should be at. I know Mooney had a big week last week, but end zone trip and some touchdowns for London. I said touchdowns. You heard that right.
Mm-hmm.
At 4, I got Amon-Ra. He's missed the end zone the past couple weeks, but was a guy that scored 9 touchdowns already this season. I know the running backs didn't have success on Thanksgiving. They got back into it a little bit more last week. Amon-Ra has a huge week this week. 3, I have JJ. 2, I have Collins. And 1, I do have Jamar Chase. Whatever your top 3 was, as long as those 3 guys are it, that's all that matters.
Steve, at 10, I got CeeDee. Even if I do think he has a fall-off at some point in the game, the first drive, they'll make it a point to get him the ball at least 4 times. It's just how that offense is going to need to run to at least get things going. 9, I got Jawan Jennings. Dude, Jawan Jennings gets in the end zone every fucking week. Every week, and he literally plays that Ayuk role. I've been saying it week after week, and I think he's good, dude. I think he's good enough where you can move one of those other receivers and you can roll with Jawan Jennings. 8, I got Nico Collins. A little bit low this week, but that
is a little bit low.
Could be tricky sledding for the Texans, man.
Are you telling me that you're a little scared of Jalen Ramsey?
Bro, I'm a little scared of Jalen Ramsey.
Are you?
Jalen Ramsey's playing some damn good football. Dude,
Ooh.
teams are struggling to sling against Miami. Just saying. At least in the deep ball, which is where Nico's going to get the pass. 7 and 6, Garrett Wilson, Tay Adams. I think they're going to
Wow.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, they're both going to fucking ball.
Yo, what a lock.
Yeah, that's what you think, right? That's what you think. I'm rubbing this all over. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. $25, consider it in the bag.
My God.
5, I got Jay Jettas. A little low, but it is what it is. Listen, Chicago's a tough matchup. 4, A.J. Brown. They're going to make a point to get him this rock. They are. He's a bitch, and they obliged to him being a bitch. 3, I got Amon-Ra. 2, I got Puka Nacua. 1, I got Jamar Chase.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen, if you did Thursday games, I'm sure you'd have Puka in there too.
Puka would have been real high. Yeah, he's like that catch on Sunday was absolutely.
Dude, he's
yeah.
so good at football, man.
Yeah.
I love to watch it.
Thank God he's healthy. And like that's a player he was last year. I was questioning whether he was going to be able to come back healthy like that. But I feel a lot differently about those Rams guys going into like next year and everything like that. But since the Sandbox fans, another great week of football ahead of us. Twan killed it on the UFC picks last week. We had an absolute day. Make sure to go and watch the YouTube videos over on Sandbox, MMA, and Toss. An Instagram follow if you want to win some money. Plus, 200 wins on the picks that you share on Instagram?
The overall record is 315 and 186.
And what is our record for the picks?
It's
all good.
Dude, I literally
Look at him.
We literally talked about it.
Hey, you know why? Because he's losing. That's why.
I'm losing now, and fucking, I ain't happy about it. Let's just say that.
No, it's literally all
good. I think it's by more than one fucking game now, too. That's the problem here.
But best of luck with your playoffs. We hope you guys enjoyed the fantasy football season. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You guys always are the reason why we continue to do this every year. Have some fun. Give you the rankings with the award show and everything coming up for the winter real soon. But
Toy Drive.
That's right, this Saturday. Make sure you guys are at the Toy Drive with us. Come and hang out. There'll be sports on the TV. There'll be money being lost. There'll be drinks being drank. And there'll be toys being donated. How don't you want to be a part of that?
Come on now, buddy. With Eastie's finest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys know the deal. Peace. Love. 5 stars. Nothing less.